What's up, everybody? Today I'm here to talk about Wonka. This will be my non-spoiler review. I won't be getting into details. It's just my overall thoughts, and perhaps you can make up your mind if this is a movie that you think you enjoy. Well, let's just go ahead and talk about this film. I had a great time. So right off the bat, it was better than I expected. I mean, I didn't know that it was, to be honest, this is the kind of movie I went to watch without really expecting anything. And I went with my brother, and he actually had the same thoughts as I did. We both had a great time. There was a lot of funny moments. And I think this was definitely a very cute film. It's definitely a movie that kids are gonna love and adults as well. So totally perfect for families. And which is hard today, right? It's really hard to find a movie out there for families nowadays. But this is it, because it's definitely very hopeful, very funny, very unexpected. I actually didn't think I was gonna like it this much. So let's talk about the movie itself. Well, the story it's Wonka, but it's very different from the stuff we have seen before. I mean, we have the original Chocolate Factory, right, with Gene Wilder, if I'm not mistaken, but that's his name, yes. And then we had the Tim Burton one with Johnny Depp, which I quite like. I mean, the original is the classic, of course. It's hard to compare things with classic films, but this movie is different from all of this. It's different from the original, and it's different from the Tim Burton version. Why? Because this is kind of like the beginning of Wonka. It's not really about the factory. It's not really about, the whole golden ticket. It's about the beginning of Wonka and how he becomes who he will become. And I thought that was definitely a very interesting approach. Let's talk about Wonka himself. Timothée Chalamet was an amazing Willy Wonka. I mean, he was so hopeful, he was so cute, and he was so nice, and he was just like, he came off as very genuine and very creative, and it's just like, I mean, I thought that he was really, really great in the role, and I was very surprised how much I enjoyed it. And one of the things that I really liked about his character is that he's very positive and so chill in situations that I wouldn't be chill. I mean, one of the things I said to my brother when we were watching the film, I was like, my goodness, he's way too chill for that situation. I'd be freaking out. And he's just like, he gives a vibe of someone that's just really good and want to help everyone. And he just has a dream, and he's working hard to achieve that dream. So I felt that the movie has a lot of really good themes, very relatable. He was very relatable. And we also have a lot of supporting characters that were excellent. I mean, let's talk about, if you saw the trailer, you see that he befriends a little girl, and she was a big chunk, she was in a big part of the movie, and their friendship is very cute. I mean, they help each other, and it's just, it was very lovely and very heartfelt as well. There are other supporting characters that are also, like, you feel like it gave me a vibe of teamwork, that Wonka becomes Wonka, but he didn't do it all alone. I mean, he is a genius, and that comes true in the movie, that he's definitely a genius when it comes to chocolate making, but he also had a team that helped him get there, so I enjoyed a lot of it. It's also something very important to mention. It is a musical, so if you do not like musicals, I'm not a huge fan of musicals when it comes to movies. I love theater musicals at the theater, but for movies, I'm not a huge fan, but this totally worked for me. I mean, I think it was like I said, it was very cute, it was very emotional, it was very heartfelt, and I did like the songs very much. And then another supporting character that I really loved was the Oompa Loompa, played by Hugh Grant. I mean, this character was really funny, and the character came off as very grumpy, and at the same time, I mean, it has a lot of like funny bits, and I thought it was the perfect role for Hugh Grant. He totally nailed it, and I was watching an interview in which he said that it was basically just his face because everything else was CGI, so he didn't really know what he was doing with his hand, and that makes the whole movie even funnier. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Oompa Loompa played by Hugh Grant. And we also have, of course, we have villains there. There is not just one villain, but it's mostly like three villains. And and it's mostly about corporations as well, trying to, not allowing small businesses to grow. So that was something that was very, it was a theme throughout the movie. Of big corporations getting together to not let the small guy, achieve their goals. And of course, because it's like a kids' film, there's a lot of things that Wonka is able to achieve that is just like, wow, that happened way too fast. But it's not something that I wouldn't even critique, because the movie is just like very, very lovely, very easy to follow, very family oriented, very like heartfelt. So even though there were parts that was like, wow, they did that way too fast, but it is a movie and it needs to go fast. Perhaps in a show this will go way slower. What else can I say without spoiling? Well, this was very different than the other Willy Wonkas that I have seen before. Like I said, this is the Willy Wonka beginning, right? This is like before. I'd say this is before the original Chocolate Factory. It does not look like this was a continuation or a prequel to the Tim Burton film, because the vibe really felt more like the original film, in my opinion. I just thought that it was a really fun time, and I definitely recommend. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it if you like musicals. Just bear in mind, it's not the entire film, but of course, a big chunk of it is a musical. And it had great villains, great storytelling. The visuals were also very cool to watch. I was so impressed with Timothée Chalamet. I have seen him in a lot of other works, but not in something like this, very musical, in which he dances and sings. And I was like, wow, he's really good. I was very, very happy because, he's the heart of the movie, right? It's called Wonka. And the movie ends giving us an idea that they want to make a sequel. So perhaps if this movie is successful, we will have eventually the Willy Wonka that we all know, who is very famous worldwide, right? It has the Chocolate Factory. But this story is just the beginning. Perhaps he will get there, but like I said, it ends in a way that have us wanting to see how, we want to see now how he becomes huge everywhere, right? And perhaps this will happen, I don't know. I heard that Warner Brothers is going bankrupt, and it's just because of their poor decisions. But unfortunately, I hope that this does not affect this movie, because I would indeed be up for a sequel, because I thought this was a lot of fun. So my review, it's a positive, not a lot of negatives. Like I said, I had a great time, and I think your family, your kids, and you might have a great time as well. And that is my review for Wonka. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and see you next time. Bye.